everyone, welcome back to Growth Groups. I have two announcements for you tonight. First is that we're doing another Bible reading plan. Last time we did 2 weeks in Psalms. This time we're doing 2 weeks in Proverbs. So it's going to look pretty much the same. The last one had like a blue icon. This one has a purple icon. So it's a plan called Reading Through Proverbs with Tim and Kathy Keller. The info sheets, the QR codes are in your growth group rooms. I've mailed out the link and an email to your parents. And if you're connected on the Bible app, then you can just be friends with SSBC Youth, and you can find us that way too. So it's a 2-week plan going through the book of Proverbs, and it's just a really simple way to get ourselves in Scripture with a short just reflection on what we read and how that shapes our hearts and our lives. So read the Bible with us. 2 weeks in Proverbs. Check it out. Second announcement is about our summer service week. So that's going to be July 18th through the 24th. And it's going to be here at SSBC. Come in the morning at 8 o'clock. Arrive after having breakfast. We're going to go out, do work for the day, come back, a little bit of free time, eat dinner, and have a program together, have some games together, a little bit of free time, and then pick up and go home around between 8 and 8:30, and then redo. So that's the project, and really excited to give you guys a chance to serve in our home community. So if you're interested in learning more, go to the church website, southshorebaptist.com/service week, and that'll bring you to that page. Registration is now open, and you can get all the information there, and we're asking you to register by the end of March. Joke of the week for you. Here we go. You ready for this one? So I was at home one night when a detective showed up, and he asked me, "Where were you between 4 and 5? So I was terrified and said, "Hello, officer, probably in kindergarten." No? Okay. All right. Okay, so tonight we're looking and studying John chapter 13. We've skipped over a few chapters in the Gospel of John because we want to be able to close out our growth group year with the cross and resurrection. So we don't want to just continue going every single chapter through the Gospel of John and then end like a few chapters short of finishing the Gospel of John. So if you're noticing that we've jumped over a few chapters, then it's very observant of you. But tonight we're looking at John chapter 13, where Jesus and his apostles are in the upper room. They have the Last Supper together, and this is where we get communion. So when we celebrate communion in church, we are kind of rehearsing and celebrating and remembering what happens here in John 13. This was Jesus foreshadowing to them what was about to happen. And for us, when we take communion, it's a reminder pointing back to what happened on the cross. That Jesus's body was torn and broken for us, that his blood was spilled, that Jesus died on the cross, that we would be saved. And at the beginning of the chapter, Jesus washes his disciples' feet, and they say, "No, Lord," right? Peter says, "Why would you wash my feet? I should wash your feet." And Jesus says, "No, like, the reason why the Son of Man came was not to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many." A ransom was a price, was a cost that you would pay in order to set a slave free. That Jesus gave his life so that we would be ransomed from sin, so that we would be bought back from slavery to sin and adopted and saved into freedom as children of God. That's our understanding of what happened on the cross, that our sin was paid for, that Jesus died as our substitute on the cross so that we would be set free from slavery to sin and adopted as sons and daughters of God. That is the gospel. And so when we celebrate communion, we do that as a reminder, as a pointing back to these events in John 13 of Jesus celebrating the Passover, right? Remembering the day of the Passover in Egypt when Israel was in slavery. The angel of death went overhead, and the curse of the firstborn, where all the firstborns in the households were put to death, except for in the homes of the faithful Jewish men and women who celebrate the Passover, right? Who gave the Passover lamb as the substitute so that the firstborn would remain alive, right? This is what they were rehearsing. So from way back when in Egypt, it was all foreshadowing. And Jesus is saying, again, the Passover points to me that I am here to ransom the children of God. And we still look back to that day, to that event, as a reminder of God's amazing love for us, that we've spent so much time in the Gospel of John talking about the authority of Jesus and who is Jesus, and that Jesus is fully God and fully man, and how does he have the power to do all these miracles and to say these crazy things unless he actually is who he says he is. And now Jesus has the audacity to say that he came not to serve, but to, or not to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. This is how Jesus spent his last night with his disciples, by washing their feet, by celebrating the Passover, and saying that he is the Passover lamb whose blood was spilled so that the firstborn would have life and freedom, and so that Israel and the children of God would be set free from slavery into the promised land. And so I hope that you have a great week. I hope you have a great discussion and the remainder of your time together. And don't forget, sign up to read the Bible with us and get more information about the mission trip. I hope you can join us. Have a great night.